I'm Soumya Bhamidipati, a journalist here at House Central. We're here at tonight's Chalk Talk debate on the End of Life Choice Bill. With me is former Prime Minister Bill English. Hi Bill, thank you so much for being here.
How are you? I enjoyed the night.
Oh, good, thank you. So Bill, tonight we've been talking about the End of Life Choice Bill. Why is this an important issue and why are we talking about it now?
Well, it's important because it literally is a matter of life and death. And it's one of those real challenges for the Parliament, and that is, can they construct a piece of legislation that allows the choice for some cases for whom many people feel compassionate, in a way that protects everybody who doesn't want to be involved with euthanasia. And 98% of people who are dying don't want to be euthanized. A few percent might. And the bill that's before the Parliament has fundamental problems, which will mean we become a dangerous country for people who have problems with the English language, who are young and suicidal, who are old and a bit depressed and worried that they're a burden.
What has influenced your stance on this issue?
Oh, really the practicality of being involved with passing legislation for almost three decades. You know, because a lot of our law is about accountability for your actions. It's about the balance between individual choice and the common good. We don't let people choose whether to wear a seatbelt. They have to wear it. And in this case, because you're lifting what has been a long-standing ban on killing to allow a group of doctors to kill people who've asked to be killed, you've got to be extremely careful about letting that genie out of the bottle. And when we look around the world, once you get the genie out of the bottle, all sorts of groups are covered by euthanasia legislation, some of whom, and none of them should be.
So this is not the first time New Zealand has kind of had this discussion. It came up 1995 and 2003 when you were in Parliament, but this is the first time it's passed its first reading. What do you think is different this time?
I think, well, partly this time it was sprung on the Parliament with quite a surprise. I think so people didn't get the chance to consider it. Almost none of the MPs would have read the piece of legislation. Secondly, it's become seen as a kind of progressive issue, that somehow people have a right to ask to be killed when actually what most of them need is kindness and support and services. And so there's a bit of that sort of sense among the politicians that the progressive countries allow this to happen. And a number of them just said, well, I don't understand it, but I want to have the debate.
Going forward, what would you like to see happen relating to this bill, but also obviously your stance is that you do not want to see it passed. So instead of that, what would you like to see happen with end-of-life care?
Well, I think one of the things that's happening, I think, is that as people start to understand what's at stake here, we may end up with a better understanding of the process of death, a better understanding of our own fears of it. I think a better appreciation that these days you can actually manage this. That's not the case. There's hundreds and thousands of people who die in writhing agony. That's not how it is. So that greater understanding, I think, would be good for us, and also a better understanding of what those groups who feel threatened by this are telling us about our country. So if people in the disability community, any number of whom wish they could be dead some days because their lives are quite challenging, if they're telling us they are literally terrified of this legislation, they're telling us something about our country, and we should be listening to that. And there's other communities, the Pacific community, for instance, who've started to realise how this cuts right across families. If a relative can die with no knowledge or support from their family. That's how the law is constructed. You know, in any number of our ethnic communities, family is such a strong philosophy, and they're not even aware that they could find themselves cut out of this process altogether. So that kind of increased understanding, I think, could be a productive outcome as long as the bill is voted down.
Great. Thank you so much, Bill.
Thank you.